Hello everyone, welcome back to GeekDisorder's web series, or HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, and jQuery. This is Lavik. I'll be walking you through this series. Today we're going to go over relational selectors. In the last video we went over general selectors, how to select HTML elements based off type, ID, and class. And of course we also went over how to select all elements using the asterisk. And today we're going to go over relational. Relational is if you want to select certain HTML elements based off of like what other element that element is in, what other element that element is near, and so on. It's kind of hard to explain, so the best way for you to learn it is actually to see it in action. And so I have a basic HTML5 document set up in front of me, and I'm going to set up some HTML code here. Alright, and I am going to create a section. And I'm actually going to create a couple of these. So, oops. Alright, let's create 3 of them. And there we go. Put some spaces here. Alright, and inside this first section, I'm going to put a paragraph and say this is my first section. There we go. Inside the second section, I'm going to put, I'm just going to put a H1 and there we go. Inside this third one, I'm going to put me another paragraph. There we go. And then I am also going to put a paragraph below all of these. There we go. Alright, we'll go ahead and save this. I'm just going to run this real quick in Firefox, and there you go. That's what this looks like. I have my first section. This is a paragraph. I have my second section with the H1. I have my third section with a paragraph in it, and then I have a paragraph outside of any section. It's just in the body by itself. Alright, now let's say I wanted to target these paragraphs right here. Well, what I could do is I could come up here in my style, and then I'm using embedded CSS with this. I come up here in my style, I could put a P, and I want to change the color of all the text in the paragraph to red. And I do this, and I run in Firefox. There we go. All my paragraphs are red. It doesn't affect my H1 at all, or anything like that. Just affects my paragraphs. Well, let's say I wanted to only turn the paragraphs that are in the H1, in the section that are in a section red. I don't want to affect this one. Now I could put section right here, save that, and run it. But unfortunately, that also affects my H1. Everything else it does just fine. It doesn't target this last paragraph outside of a section. So how do I do this? Well, I use something called a descendant selector. What this does, what a descendant selector does, is a relational selector. It will only target HTML5 elements based off of like another element they're in. So these paragraphs that I want to target are inside of a section here. So to do this, to tell it I only want to target paragraphs that are in a section, I'd put section, okay, alright, and then I put a space and I put P for paragraph. Now what this does, it tells the browser that every section that has a paragraph, I'm going to turn the paragraph text red. So I save this and I launch in Firefox. If you notice, the paragraph in the first section, the paragraph in the third section are red. It doesn't affect my H1. It doesn't affect the text in the paragraph outside of any section. It doesn't affect that at all. I could even go in here and right underneath the paragraph I could put this is more text in my first section, and just put that out there by itself, save and run. See, doesn't even affect that. So it only affects the paragraphs that are inside of a section, and this is called descendant relational selectors. So it's very easy. I have right here, I have my section, and then I have my paragraph in it. So I put the section first, and then I put what I want to target that's inside of a section, which is a paragraph. So any section I make that has a paragraph inside of it, this is going to target that paragraph and make that text red. It's not going to target any paragraph that's outside of a section. The paragraph could be, in a div. It could be anywhere else, and it's not going to be affected. It's only going to be affected if it's inside a section. Okay. All right. And so the next one we're going to look at is called adjacent sibling relational selectors. What this is if I have, let me go ahead and set up some HTML5 here for you. I'm going to have an H1, and this is my first H1. All right. I'm going to have a paragraph here, and I'm going to call this my first. There we go. All right. I have a paragraph following an H1. What a sibling is in CSS, what it is any HTML element that is on the same level as another HTML element. Those are siblings. What do I mean by level? Well, you can see here I have my body, and my H1 and my paragraph are inside the body. The body is on a different level. It's up a level. These two are based on the same level. As you can see here, like this one, this one, this one, these are all the same level. My head, my body are on the same level. Of course, my doc type and my HTML opening tag and closing tag are on the same level. So I'm going to put another paragraph here, and I'm just going to put my second. There we go. Alright, and then I can put an H1. This is my second H1, and then I'm going to put right here, I'm going to put a section, and then close that. Inside my section, I am going to put a let's just put a paragraph. Okay, there we go. And then underneath that, I'm going to put a H1. Oops. And then underneath that, I'm going to put another paragraph. There we go. Alright. So, what I want to do is I want to target, let's say I want to turn any paragraph that follows that follows an H1 that are on the same level, that are siblings. I want to target those and turn that paragraph text red. And if I do this, I could target, like using the Descendant, I could put body P, but that's going to target, all these paragraphs because they're all inside the body. So to target any P that follows an H1, what I do here is I put H1 plus P. And this is, oops, let me do that, sorry. And this is what happens if I run this in Firefox. If you notice, this is my first H1. This is a paragraph that follows it. It turned that red. This is a second paragraph. It doesn't touch it because it's not next to, it's not an adjacent sibling. That means it's a sibling, but it's not next to the H1. It's not following it. So it doesn't mess with that one. This is the second H1. And this is a paragraph in a section. Okay? If you notice, this is my second H1. I put a paragraph in a section. Well, they are not siblings. Even though it follows that, it's inside of a section, so they're not siblings. They're on a different level. See, on two separate levels here. You can tell by my indenting. Now, if you look up here, this is the H1 in a section, and this is the P that follows the H1 that's in the section. it targets this one because it is following a H1 and they are siblings. Okay, they are adjacent siblings. This P follows the H1 and they are on the same level. Alright, I hope that kind of makes some sense. Adjacent sibling, what it does is if I'm targeting any paragraph that is a sibling and is following, which adjacent, a H1, this is how it works. I put H1 plus P, so it targets this one because it follows this H1 and they're on the same level. It doesn't touch this because it's not following, it's not next to, it's not adjacent to this H1. It has no H1 right between it and this other paragraph, so it doesn't target that one at all. This is the second H1. There is a paragraph following that, but remember that paragraph is inside of a section here, so it does not mess with it because they're not on the same level. Alright, and of course they have a section in between them, so they're not truly siblings. And then we have an H1 here, and we have a P following it. Even though they're on a different level than the other two that were affected, they are on the same level as each other, adjacent siblings, so it does affect this paragraph. Okay, so that is adjacent siblings. I hope that makes some sense to you. If not, please feel free to leave a comment. I can try to further explain, kind of clear up any confusion. Okay, the next CSS like relational selector we're going to look at is, they're called a child. We're going to try to select a child of another HTML element. And I guess best way to do this is just to show you again. I'm gonna go up here, we'll clear out some of that. I'm gonna make a section. Oops. Alright, and then go ahead and close that. And up here, I am going to put a paragraph. Alright, there we go. Go ahead and save that. So I've got a section with a paragraph inside of it. And what I can do here is I can target this paragraph by what it's in. Okay? So I can come up here and I will turn that paragraph red. So I can put a section, I can put a greater than sign, and then I can put a paragraph. And I can save that. I can launch that in Firefox, and that paragraph is red. This paragraph is a child of this section. That means it's inside. Okay, so I can put, let's say, a div. Go. Oops. Okay, you notice it does not affect this one. Alright, because this paragraph is a child of a div, not the section. The div is a child of the section. Okay, so it has to be directly inside of it or it does not affect it. Alright, and so that's the child. It's pretty easy. As long as you have a paragraph directly inside of a section, you can target it like this. And it will, if I create another section, oops, and I put a paragraph inside it, oops, there we go, and I'll launch this in Firefox. You can see it'll affect that one also. So any section out there that has a paragraph directly inside of it, called a child, it's going to target that. And if you have a div or something else inside that section and then a paragraph inside it, it's not going to affect that one at all. Okay, and just a little warning on child relational selectors. Some older browsers, like IE6, they do not support the child feature. Okay. The next one we're going to look at is called a general sibling. This one, a little note, is a new feature in CSS, so of course it might not be supported by some older browsers. So go ahead and get rid of some of this. Alright, and what a general sibling is like I could have a H1 here. Alright, go ahead and close that, and then I could have a paragraph here. Alright, go ahead and do that. Alright, a general sibling is any element that's on the same level. They're siblings, okay? This H1, this paragraph, they're both siblings. Alright, if I had a like a section with a paragraph in it, that paragraph would not be a sibling to these because it would be inside of a section, putting it on a different level. And so what does a general sibling do? If I want to affect every paragraph that is a sibling with this H1 following it, then I could use a general sibling. And the way you code this selector is you put H1 tilde and then P. What this does is it tells me that I've got my H1 here. Any paragraph that is a sibling of it that is following it, I want to turn the color red. So let's go ahead and run this. Oops. What have I done here? Oh. Yes. Always remember to save. It'll save you some trouble. Alright. There we go. It turned that red. Alright, and if I go up here and I'm going to put a paragraph above this. I'm just going to put above in it. Alright, I'm going to save and run this in Firefox again. If you notice, this paragraph is a sibling to the H1, but it's not affected. Remember, this only affects any paragraph that comes after this H1. Okay, you got to remember HTML, when it starts looking at your web page, HTML by itself and CSS, it starts at the top and goes down. So as it runs through everything, it's applying these rules. If it gets to that paragraph that has above in it, it's going to go ahead and throw that out there because there's no rules at the second that apply to it. Then it's going to come to that H1, and that next paragraph is going to go, oh, we have a sibling here. We have a paragraph that's a sibling of this H1. So we're going to make that red. It's not going to go back up and say, hey, this paragraph above this H1 is a sibling also, let's make it red. No, it's not going to do that. It's already put that out on the screen, so it's not going to worry about it. It's just going to keep going. Alright, so that's a general sibling. I could put a ton of other things here. I could put an H2. Go ahead and close that. And then I could put another paragraph. Alright, and I could save that. I could run it, and it's going to affect that one too. No matter that it's following a H2, it's still a sibling, that a general sibling of this H1, so it's red. Okay, so that's the relational selectors for CSS. Remember, the child and the general sibling aren't going to be supported in like IE6 and in some older browsers in general. But most modern browsers these days will support all these features. Alright, so this has been Lavic with GeekDisorder. If y'all like our content, please like, subscribe, and comment. If y'all have any questions, feel free to ask, and we will see y'all next time.